What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new commentary video. As always, I just want to say quickly, thank you guys for clicking on the video. It does mean a lot to me. I also want to quickly mention that there is a link down in the description to submit a question anonymously through the Google form if you would wish to do it that way. There's also a link to join our Discord if you are interested. We like to sit in there, chat with you guys, all that great stuff if you are interested. But without further ado, we're going to get right into today's video. We got another question here from the Google form. How do you forgive yourself for something you regret or have guilt for? For example, ruining a very good relationship because of breaking their trust. Okay, so this is a bit of a deeper topic, I feel like, and I want to talk about that a little bit today. I think that the first thing that you need to do is that a lot of people, when they regret something that they've done to someone or in a relationship or, whatever, I think that the first thing that they always kind of sit there and point towards is that they will not accept and acknowledge what they did was wrong. Now, I don't know what you did, but let's take cheating, for example. When it comes to cheating, a lot of people will have this thing where they won't want to admit that what they did is wrong and that they'll try to justify the cheating. And the truth is that there's really no justifying cheating. And I think that that is the first real step in forgiving yourself, is that you need to be able to first accept and realize what you did is wrong. And the reason why I say that, you can't really just go through life and say, I am just going to pretend like it didn't happen. You need to, it's like grief, right? You first need to acknowledge your mistake. This is, I think, the real important thing. And I am kind of guessing here because I don't know exactly what you did. The first step is acknowledgement and just kind of go over really what did you do wrong and realize what you did was wrong. And I really think that you need to apologize. I think that apologizing is a really, really important step in this process. And the thing is this is if you can, because look, let's say that you really broke this person's trust and they really don't want to see you anymore. You also got to accept that and realize that that is part of their process as well. That they may not want to speak to you again and that they may not want you in their life anymore. And if that's the case, you're just going to have to learn to move on. And it truly is going to be a really tricky thing. And I know that it sucks at first, especially when all you want to do is apologize and help them get over it. But sometimes what they need is space, and sometimes they just need to get away from you. And you're going to need to learn to respect that. So if this girl or guy, I don't know, decides that they don't want you in their life anymore, you need to learn to accept that and apologize if you can. But if you can't, just send them another message and be like, look, I truly do apologize. And this is after you have to do this after you've decided that what you did is wrong. This can't be in the moment sort of thing. You first of all need to have awareness into what you did was very wrong. And the apology needs to be genuine. It can't be one of these fake apologies where you're like, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. It needs to be like, I'm sorry that I did this thing to you, and acknowledge, what you did was wrong. That is the first major step that I think that you need to take. I also think with that is that you need to understand that you may not get I understand or a closure type moment. I talked about that a couple weeks ago about how she doesn't owe you anything. I think that you kind of need to point out the same thing to yourself with this, is that you may not really get closure out of this situation. And that's okay. You're going to have situations in your life where you're not really going to get that opportunity to really get closure, right? And that's okay. Once again, is just, we're going to build upon who you are as a person, and we're going to learn from these mistakes to then really improve you as a person. So just know that she may not give you the closure that you're looking for, and that is in her right, especially depending on what you did here. Understand that this is your fault, and that because of the mistakes that you've made, you're not going to get closure out of this relationship. I think also a really big thing too is understand that this mistake does not make you a person. What I mean by that is do not live this mistake. And a lot of men kind of get in this trap where if they fuck up once, they are going to make that same fuck up for the rest of their life. And you can't do that. You just can't. You got to understand that you are going to make mistakes in your life. I make mistakes all the time. I've made mistakes in my relationship. But just because you made it once doesn't mean that you're always going to make that mistake, and you can't let it be your mistake for the rest of your life. And it is tricky to learn and to understand that and learn to accept that. But the truth is that you are at some point going to need to understand that, you made a mistake. And that's okay. And just because you made the mistake doesn't mean that you need to leave the mistake for the rest of your life. That just means that you need to learn to improve, which is what I'm here to help you with. And with that, I think you need to understand to look at a relationship from their perspective and understand what you did wrong and why it hurt them. And once you understand that, you can start to sort of develop the ideas of how you can get away from that. And once you sort of understand exactly what the issue is and you get it from their perspective, is you are just going to change that behavior. And it depends what the behavior is, right? Because I don't know what behavior you exactly did. I know that you broke their trust, but I don't know exactly how you broke their trust. And the truth is that, you are going to need to learn how to be better. And if it's cheating, you need to understand why you cheated in the first place and understand exactly what you can do to change that for the future so that you're not cheating in future relationships. Is it something that they may have done? Is it something that that's inside of you? Is it some built up trauma that you've never worked through? Is it some sort of issue that you are not addressing? What is causing the issue? If you don't address the issue and you don't understand exactly what's causing your issue, you are not going to learn how to improve. You're not going to learn how to change the behavior. In fact, you're going to repeat the behavior. And I think that is really important. And I want to talk about my experience with that a little bit. For me, I just have done things like not given, a relationship enough attention or things like that. And the thing is that, you're going to go through a couple relationships maybe where you're going to deal with that and you're going to need to understand that, that's going to happen, but you need to improve it, right? Because if you just don't improve it, girls aren't going to be interested in you. It's going to be a constant area of contention in your relationship if you are not trying to fix it in the slightest. And that's just finding time for the girl that you're dating. Because the truth is that if you really have no time for a girl, or this girl in particular, then why are you in a relationship with her? That's really the advice that I kind of learned was just figure out exactly how you can give this girl the time that she deserves and the time that she wants. That's truthfully what I want you to do, is just figure out exactly how, you can improve on that thing and understand for the next relationship, learn from it and learn exactly how you can sort of change. Because if you don't change, then what's the point of going through this process is if you're not learning how to do it? Because with it is going to take time. It's going to take time to forgive yourself. It truthfully is going to take time. You are not going to be able to forgive yourself in a week. I don't want to make that a thing at all in your mind. Is that it's going to take a long ass time to understand that you made a mistake, but that mistake can be rewritten in your past. It's just going to take a lot of work. And I think that some people aren't ready to make that work happen. But I know that you can make that work, and you're just going to have to take some time in learning and understanding exactly what you did wrong and what you can do to improve that. And I think the great motto that I like to kind of live by in my life, and I think that a lot of people were taught this, was the golden rule, which is treat others how you want to be treated. And I think that you kind of need to treat relationships the same way. Treat your girlfriend how you want your girlfriend to treat you is sort of a great piece of advice. Do you want to be left on red for hours? Do you want to have your trust broken by going behind your back and talking to people about you or whatever it may be? Do you want to be cheated on? Probably not, right? So I do think that it is seriously important to work through this stuff by thinking about it from how would you feel if this person did this to you? How would you feel if you are truly hurt by it or you know that it's impacting you? Then don't fucking do it. And why were you doing it in the first place? That's the rule that I really tell myself by. And I tell this to people all the time they tell me that this person was upset by this thing or whatever. And I look at them and I tell them, would you be upset if they did that to you? If the answer is yes, then what the fuck were you doing it for? I understand that there's mistakes, but that's my real raw reaction to that is, okay, then why did you do it? But that's really what I want you to take away is understand that, it's gonna be tough and that it's gonna be hard, but you can forgive yourself. It just takes a little bit of improvement and learning from your mistakes. How do you sort of move on from this, right? And how do you become the person that you want to be? Because I think that a big factor that people aren't also doing is that I think that if you learn your mistake from this, you should be able to improve and be the person that you wish you could have been for that girl. And it's tricky at first and it's hard to learn how to do, but that is the truth, is that you need to be able to figure out, how do I become the guy that I wanted to be in that relationship? And once you do that, it becomes easier to, I say that all the time with be the person that you want your son to be. be the boyfriend that you want your girlfriend to be, if that makes sense. Be a good role model. Be who you want to be. And it's going to be tricky, but once you do it, it almost becomes second nature, I guess, if that makes sense. So you do it a couple times and you start going through the motions and you start becoming a better person. You start really working on the things that you want to work through. You're going to be able to do it. That's really some important shit that I want to tell you about today. So just learn to improve, learn to be like a better person, and just overall learn exactly who you want to be. And once you learn how to be the person that you want to be, you are going to be able to strive to do better. And it's going to be tricky because the truth is that you have to blame yourself if you want to move on. It's tough at first, and it's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of improvement. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be something that changes in a couple days. It's going to be something that you're going to work through for a while. Improve yourself. Don't get in a relationship again right away. Just take your time. And I think the other really last important thing that I want to mention is understand that she may not want to ever see you again. And the goal here isn't to change yourself so that you can be with her again. Just understand that you may have ruined that relationship forever. And once you improve, you can always reach out and try again and be like, hey, I've changed and I want to prove that to you. But understand that she may not want to be with you again. And that's okay. So that's the real big advice I have for you today, is really just learn to improve yourself and figure out what you can do better, and understand that she may not want to be with you ever again. But, that's okay. And you're going to run into issues like this in your life. But you, my friend, can absolutely do it. It's just going to take a lot of trial and error in figuring out exactly who you want to be. Yeah, that's really all just what I wanted to talk about today. Once again, there is a link to submit a question via the Google form down in the description if you are interested. There's also a link to join our Discord in the description. And as always, I just want to say thank you guys for checking out the video today. It does mean a lot that you guys are watching these videos and that you guys are finding help in them. So, I just wanted to say that really quickly. And I want to say thank you guys for everything that you've given me and all that great stuff. So, so just work on that stuff, man. And I can't wait to hear how you improve in the next couple months. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. I am out. Peace.